How you going, people? Well, there's the stabbing in California has been getting a lot of attention from the guys who are paying attention, but the media is not playing it too much because it doesn't fit in their gun control agenda. They want to think that people only get hurt with guns, and if they get the guns, nobody will get hurt, even though there's mass shootings every single night in every liberal shithole city there is. This guy went around and stabbed a whole bunch of people with a knife. No gun, no high-capacity mag, no AR rifle, no red flag laws are being called, no ban on guns, no 10-day wait period, serialization, we need background check for knives. None of that happens, even though a lot of people, probably more than guns, every year are killed by stabbing instruments. So, let's listen to kind of what's going on here on this stabbing deal.
Dead, 2 others injured this morning. It lasted for 2 hours last night and spread out over a number of locations, mainly along Harbor Boulevard.
And this morning we have live team coverage. Our Tina Patel and Candace Crone are at 2 of the crime scenes. So let's start with Tina with the very latest on the suspect's arrest. Tina, good morning to you.
Good morning. This 7-Eleven in Santa Ana is where
this guy's like, damn, that news lady's standing in my spot where I usually lay down and sleep and take a leak in this sanctuary city of California. And now she's out here filming the news. I'm going to have to go somewhere else. Rick, you can't...
the suspect was finally taken into custody. The store just reopened a few minutes ago, but employees did not want to talk to us on camera, still in shock over the security guard that was killed here yesterday. He was one of the 6 victims. Now take a look at this map that shows just what happened yesterday afternoon. Police say the first call was a burglary at an apartment complex in Garden Grove.
Now, when they say burglary, they're talking about somebody entered a home to commit a crime. They're not talking about this guy necessarily broke in, was robbing, and then got surprised. It sounds like there was 2 guys that tried to stop him from being a loudmouth with a knife, and he stabbed and killed them both. They weren't related. He didn't know them. One was 66, and I don't know the other name. They didn't say his age. But that's what it sounds like. They tried to stop him. He stabbed and killed them, and then went to the next place. So he was just a crazy guy with a knife. But the media won't be blaming the knife. The media won't be saying if we only had more no-knife zones, if we only had waiting periods for knife, if we only had background check for knives. They won't say that because they don't want the idiots to figure out if we get more laws, it's not going to make you any safer. We're just going to get to say that we pass more laws to make you safe and you'll vote for us next time, and then we'll get the guns from the good people, and then only government and bad people will have guns, and then when bad people start committing all these crimes, we can say we need more government to protect you. And you don't have guns, so you can't protect yourself, therefore you're going to need government's protection. I mean, it's pretty simple. All governments do it. They want you dependent on them. They don't want a self-sufficient populace that doesn't need government. How the hell are they going to get more money, advances, raises, and grow government if you don't need them and you're self-sufficient? Wake up, people.
Minutes later, there was an armed robbery at a nearby bakery. Then 2 people stabbed to death at that same apartment complex. Then an armed robbery at a cash business. Shortly after, an armed robbery at an insurance business. An employee was stabbed there but survived. A man also survived after being stabbed at a nearby gas station. Then a man stabbed.
Man, that sounds like one of those fully semi-automatic knives, because he was just like stabbing and wouldn't reloading. And I mean, wow, this guy, that's a crazy knife. What kind of knife is that? Because whatever kind it is, we need to get rid of it. We need to regulate it and block it and have red flags laws so people can call in people who are dangerous with knives, who don't know how to cut their steak with a knife and are dangerous and might poke somebody's eye out, so we can get them on a list and get the knives out. If it just saves one person, it's for the children. Public safety.
Stabbed and killed at a Subway restaurant in Santa Ana before the fatal stabbing here at the 7-Eleven. This is where undercover police officers were finally able to take the suspect into custody. We have video of that. Now, police are not identifying him this morning. All we're being told is that he is 33 years old from Garden Grove.
Ooh, there it is. Ooh, man. I think that is one of those fully semi-automatic with a bullet button knife to make it able to stab very quickly. I think it can stab up to like 120 times a minute. It'll get 2 stabs every second. That's like faster than the AR-15. Man, we've got to go after these knives. If it only saves one child.
And that he reportedly had a gun as well as a...
Now, they're saying he had a gun. Let me get this straight. On the last person he stabbed at the 7-Eleven, he cut the security guard's gun off his belt with the knife. So he had the gun still in the holster that he stole from the security guard. But Rick, he wasn't allowed to have that gun, and it was a no gun sign, and he shouldn't have been able to have that, and he didn't go through a background. Yeah, you freaking idiots. Because none of that shit stops bad people from getting guns.
A large knife on him. We talked to one man who witnessed the stabbing at the gas station.
He stabbed the guy. He stabbed him right here, and he cut, like, shanked him right through his nose.
Shanked him. Okay, let me give you guys a clue. This guy's been to prison. Most people don't talk about shanking unless they've been to prison. Rick, you can't say he's been to prison. You're just picking on him because he got earrings. I don't care what he's wearing. He's been to prison. I can tell the way he's talking. If you want to come here and tell me I should be tolerant and shouldn't be judging and I should be an idiot running into glass with my head because I'm too stupid to go to the place where there's no glass, well, then whatever. I can't help you.
Nose.
Describe the knife.
It was pretty long. It was a long knife.
Describe the knife. It was long. It was really long. It sounds like my ex-girlfriend's. Well, never mind. All right, let's go.
It was crazy.
Crazy. Just crazy.
And what is even more crazy this morning is that police still do not have a motive. They say it appeared that the man picked the businesses and the victims at random. He did not have any ties to any of the people who were killed or injured back at.
So he killed people at random. Maybe he was crazy. Rick, you can't say that. Crazy is an invisible disability and we should be tolerant and diversity is our strength and we should love him. Well, that's because you're a freaking idiot.
Out here live, police were hoping will release more information about the man as the morning goes on. Right now, all they're saying about why he may have done this is that he was full of pure hate.
Oh, he was full of hate. Yeah, because most people that run around stabbing people aren't full of hate. They're kind, loving citizens who, want to help people. What the?
Send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Tina, thank you. And this all started as a report of a burglary at a Garden Grove apartment complex.
CBS. Yeah, investigators have been out here going on 14 hours now. You can see the street is still taped off. They've got the mobile command.
Gee, I wonder how much that nice vehicle with the paint job cost the taxpayers. $400,000? Got gun racks inside, air conditioning. This little part right here is like cut out, made into a donut shop. They can make their own fresh Krispy Kreme donuts right there. Yeah, that's all right. We need that to pull up. We got to use it so many times a year, otherwise we'll lose funding for it. So let's pull this big ass thing, bigger than the apartment complex, to investigate two guys stabbed in one apartment. Yeah, now it'll look official. Freaking government.
Command center on the other side of the street. Now, this is where the suspect lived and where all of the mayhem started yesterday evening. Take a look at this video. That's when police received a report of a burglary around 4 o'clock at an apartment here in the 12,000 block of Gentges Avenue. Well, not long after that crime, investigators say that the suspect allegedly came back to the same apartment and stabbed and killed two men here. One of the victims was pronounced dead inside the unit, and a second man was found on the ground outside the apartment. Now, he was taken to UCI Medical Center where he died. Authorities believe that the two men somehow confronted the suspect and that an altercation happened. We have since learned one of the victims is a 62-year-old grandfather, and we spoke to his wife about this whole.
So they confronted him. Well, how many times I got to tell you people, when you get involved in something, you take your life in your hands. And then I got the idiots coming here telling, Rick, you're just mean. Some people are good. We should try and help. And well, if you want to die, I mean, you should go talk to this 62-year-old widow and tell her about how great he is and what a great guy he is and how she's going to get to pay to bury him and what a great guy he is because he died getting involved in something that he probably could have walked away and stayed out of.
Ordeal.
He died because of many wounds. So probably the guys who stabbed them with no reason came and robbed him, then came back.
Now, so far, the victims' identities have not yet been released.
Here's another news report on this.
We lost their lives tonight from this savage suspect.
A stabbing spree in Orange County. 4 people dead, 6.
Stabbing spree. How come it's not a mass stabbing? If we have 3 people shot, it's a mass shooting. Guns need to be outlawed. This is just a deadly stabbing spree. And he killed 4 people and wounded a couple others.
Different crime scenes.
He just looked agitated and was in a bad mood.
Police say the crime...
Yeah, he was in a bad mood. This girl's brilliant. I know when I'm in a bad mood, I run around and kill 3 or 4 people and stab them. Really? Is that what people do when they're in a bad mood? Are you kidding me?
...were brutal and the work of just one man.
Just pure hate this guy did this. We know that this guy was full of anger, and he harmed a lot of people tonight.
We know he was full of anger. How did you know that? Were there flags? Could you have done something? Of course not.
Police say the killer committed all of these crimes across 2 Orange County cities in less than 3 hours.
He is now in police custody, and there is no longer a threat to the community. We want to...
Oh, no threat to the community. We got one guy off the street stabbing people, and now the community's suddenly safe. Really? The hell? Where do they keep this guy? They just let him out of his rubber room to do the newscast?
Stress that the violence began just after 4 o'clock at an apartment complex in Garden Grove. The suspect then robbed, stabbed, and killed people at 5 different locations until police spotted him near a Subway and a 7-Eleven in Santa Ana. Now, tonight we have a team of reporters covering this deadly crime spree that lasted for hours.
We're going to begin right now with NBC4's Hetty Chang. She is live in Garden Grove, where it all started. Hetty?
Chuck and Colleen, we can tell you it's now been several hours since we first arrived here at this first crime scene, this apartment complex in Garden Grove. At the time, we kept hearing more sirens. At the time, we kept hearing more reports of stabbings and burglaries. We now know at the time...
At the time. Sounds like it should be a song. At the time.
This crime spree was just beginning. We're learning new details about the suspect. We know he's 33 years old. He does have a criminal history, and he...
Oh, he has a criminal history. So government knew he was dangerous and knew there was red flags. And what did they do? They let him out. They probably hoped he used a gun so they could say, see, we got to get the guns. He used a knife and messed up their plan.
Lives here at this apartment complex where loved ones are now arriving, frantically trying to figure out if their family members are among the stabbing spree. 4 killed and 2 wounded. This woman just told us.
Hospital.
Investigators describing this as an anger-filled rampage.
Robbery, hate, homicide. This is all the above.
Just after 4 o'clock.
Robbery, hate, homicide. Sounds like him when he gets a dozen donuts.
Robbery, hate, homicide. This is all the above.
Picture him at a Krispy Kreme, and that's what you'll know what this guy was thinking.
Just after 4 o'clock, police respond to a burglary and later a double stabbing at this apartment complex on Gentris Avenue in Garden Grove, where we just learned the suspect lives. 2 men, one on the balcony, one inside, both killed. It would be just the beginning.
My coworker had just told me that a customer came in.
What the hell is in her lip? In her eye? Oh, I know. Never mind. She voted for Obama.
Kind of angry and threw a $50 bill on the counter.
This Chevron cashier says workers came face to face with a man they believe was a suspect. Outside, they find a victim, his nose nearly...
Ooh, look at all the government. Man, government's on us. All these people are dead and stabbed, and look at government showing up. Ooh, everybody's got their chalk out. You'd think it was a chalk-drawn conviction.
Severed off.
I saw the guy that got stabbed was just like bleeding everywhere, so I just went out there and got him.
That's odd. Somebody stabbed was bleeding. Who could have predicted that?
A water and a stool to sit on.
Police continue to respond to call after call.
What the hell is this dude? A leg holster with shorts? Really, dude? All right, whatever.
At a bakery, a check cashing business, and an insurance agency where one man watched in horror a live security camera feed of the suspect attacking his employee.
He's watching it through a live circuit TV, and that he saw that his employee was down on the ground. It looked like she had been stabbed multiple times.
So he's letting his employee get stabbed while he's watching in the back room. Well, that's a great boss. How'd you like to go work for him? Hey, he's hiring now because he's one less employee down. Anybody wants to go work for him, he'll watch you get stabbed in the back room too. What the hell?
This is a multi-agency investigation. Garden Grove Police, Santa Ana, even Anaheim assisting, and really just normal citizens were told that it was a good Samaritan who managed to shoot cell phone video of the suspect in his...
And the truth comes out. Incompetent government who's Johnny on the spot, who's going to protect you if only they had the guns. They couldn't find him. A citizen took a videotape of him and gave it to the police, and that's how they caught him. More government failure. If we just had more government, just give the government your guns. We'll all be safer. Yeah, okay.
Silver Mercedes that helped police eventually track him down. Live in Garden Grove, Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
All right, Hetty, and of course that cell phone video of the public helping led police to the suspect.
Jesus Christ. She looks like she just took a hit of this newfangled marijuana that was legal. Rick, you can't. I'm just looking at her hair. Never mind. Make your own joke.
In Santa Ana tonight. That's where NBC4's Jane Yamamoto joins us live, where a security guard and a subway employee were also killed. Jane?
And Colleen, we are on West 1st Street at South Harbor Boulevard. I want to show you the scene out here right now. Take a look down the street. You can see police have blocked off the shopping center, and there are police cars at both the blinking lights. And further down the street, less than a block away, and Matt, if you can just keep further going down, panning down the street, less than a block away, just across South.
Look at all the pretty flares. Wow. Little lights and tape. Man, don't you guys feel safe? Look how they came to protect you after all the people are dead and the guy's in custody. Look how much government's there.
Harbor Boulevard, and that 7-Eleven you see there, it turned into a bloody crime scene after he killed a security guard. Police spotted the suspect, then moved in. The suspect screaming as he's arrested just before 6:30 tonight. Police telling us he dropped his knife and handgun when confronted by them outside the 7-Eleven. We understand the suspect followed the security guard inside the 7-Eleven, fighting him, then using his knife to cut his gun off the duty belt.
So after he beat up the security guard, he cut his gun from his belt. I mean, it's just crazy how easy it is to get a gun, and people think, well, if we take all the guns from good people, then we'll be safe. Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Fighting him, then using his knife to cut his gun off the duty belt. Also, right next to the 7-Eleven, the suspect walked into the subway and killed a man. We believe he was an employee.
All right. Well, guns or shooting, you know, you just don't know. Man, that's a nice. All right, we'll end that there.